Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to today's program. I'm pleased to have a discussion with Curley Dossman. He's the president of the GeorgiaPacific Foundation. Hello, Curley. I hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. I like your background. Quite a city scene there right outside your window, right?
Yes, it is. We're right here in the headquarters building here on Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Of course, we're right in the heart of downtown.
Yes, and I can see the image of your building there. That's nice. Well, today we're talking about charitable giving, and I know Georgia Pacific is part of many programs when it comes to giving to the community and giving to the industry. Could you tell us a little bit about how GP got started down that pathway?
Well, sure. Actually, the foundation has been in existence for probably over 60 years, which has been a core tenet of the Georgia Pacific's community engagement effort. Initially, it was kind of focused around, educational initiatives through matching gift programs, et cetera. And then we had support for different hospitals. And of course, it was really designed to support those communities where GP has manufacturing facilities. And usually they're in small rural communities. And usually we're the largest employer probably in that community. And as a result of that, we felt it was important to make sure that we're investing in those communities where employees live and work.
You mentioned community efforts and programs in the community. Could you speak to supporting an industry charity like ISSA Charities?
Sure. Charities like ISSA Charities really help us again. And when I talk about this cycle of mutual benefit, right? When we're dealing with our customers, we're looking also for long-term partnerships and opportunities to really engage and learn from one another as we go forward, as we try to look for new innovative and creative ways to continue to serve our customers. And obviously, there is support that the industry associations provide to our partners in the industry. The business has a real value and impact to us as well. And so to support one of our lines of business with their industry efforts and groups, and we believe that's going to help to foster greater innovation in that industry for us, and at the same time, help to brand the products and the industries that we're working with in the eyes of our consumer base as well. So we think it's a mutual benefit to work through associations and for us as a foundation to support a line of business where they believe that it helps to create value for them. We're certainly looking forward for those opportunities to be able to do so.
Now, one question I'd like to ask is, what does supporting a charity do for company morale? And that might be an easier question for a company with a few employees. Georgia Pacific has more than a few. What do you say to that?
No, I think it still continues to be a big motivator for our employee bases here, even as a large company, particularly now, as you know, this current generation and the generation just preceding it really have been heavily involved in looking at how companies are engaged in their communities and supporting issues that are important to them. And we think it's been a very good booster, not only just for morale, but also for recruiting and for retention purposes. We actually got started with our volunteer employee engagement right after the 1996 Olympics. Just prior to the Olympics, the city, obviously, and the Olympic Committee were looking for volunteers to help with hosting the various venues around the city for part of that Olympics. And what we found was that we had a large number of our employees who signed up to be volunteers for those games. And what that said to us that we had a pent-up demand within the employee body for wanting to be engaged and get active in those communities. And so when the Olympics was over, after we realized that so many employees were interested, we created our formal employee volunteer service force and formalized that and made that an ongoing part of the foundation's programmatic efforts as well.
I was going to ask about that, what you do to get employees engaged, and I think you answered that question. So that's nice to see how everyone's proactive. But tell me this, Curley, what are your thoughts on how supporting a charity is good for business overall, for any company?
Sure. Well, one, when you invest in communities, we believe it also helps us to maintain our license to do business that we gain from the community as well. Two, at GP, one of our principles and value components is really looking at not only just with our customers, but also with our communities, what we call, a cycle of mutual benefit. And in this case, we believe that by investing in these communities, particularly helping to solve issues or problems that a community is facing is a big part of that effort, in addition to working with local charities to, to drive some real value and create good outcomes in those communities as well. So, as part of our corporate social responsibility efforts, we think that it aligns very well with the other principles and values that GP holds. And it's another way to just manifest that beyond just giving, cash or dollars. We also use this as an opportunity to invest, through our products. We do in-kind product donation as well. And then two, we also look at it as a way to display GP's talent. A lot of our employees have unique skill sets and opportunities to share those skill sets in the community by serving on nonprofit boards or even having our leadership get involved with chairing some of the major campaigns that are going on in the community as well. We can kind of use both our talent, our employees' time, as well as their cash and resources and products to really kind of help bring real value to those communities. And in return, I think the community appreciates the fact that they know that we're engaged, and they know that we're looking beyond just trying to make a profit. They understand that we care for that community. We have concerns. We share their concerns around, producing our products in a healthy and safe way, and also being cognizant of some of the environmental impacts that we can have. And so I think overall, when you look at whether we're talking about our environmental sustainability or our social components, or even our governance efforts that we look at, we try to take all of those factors into consideration in an effort to try to, as I mentioned earlier, create a cycle of mutual benefit.